laughs at the sport of boxing, makes a mockery, saying boxing came on and actually had precedence over a basketball game. Stay tuned, coming up next.
Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So I want to explain this, man. I saw something very interesting. We continuously try to explain the fact that the sport of boxing is not big in the States. It's much different in other countries than it is in the States. It's a much bigger sport in other countries than it is over here in the U.S. In the U.S., there's other sports that take precedent over the sport of boxing. Boxing falls somewhere between 7 to 8 as to most watched sports over here in the U.S. And I was watching something on ESPN, whom Tyson Fury just signed to, and we know Terrence Bud Crawford is signed to ESPN. This is a great way to explain and give you guys an idea of how the sport of boxing is looked at over in the U.S. opposed to over in the U.K., right? This is a good measuring stick. So I was watching a show. It's called The Jump. It's a pregame show for the NBA, which stands for the National Basketball Association. It's basketball. And Rachel Nichols, who's a very well-known analyst over in the U.S., she stated this. This is what she had to say about the sport of boxing. The New York Knicks were playing the Los Angeles Lakers, whom LeBron James plays for the Los Angeles Lakers. And Rachel Nichols found it quite interesting that, they moved the basketball game time back due to the fact that there was a boxing match taking place with Mick Conlon on it at Madison Square Garden, and they found that quite hilarious that they actually would move a basketball game back in place of a boxing match, right? They thought it was quite hilarious. So listen to how Rachel Nichols stated this.
Matchup just on names alone should have been the headliner. And yet the Lakers and Knicks have been so awful for so long now. Not only was the game not on national television, it was relegated to a noon local start time at 9 a.m. on the West Coast, because there was also a boxing match scheduled at the Garden yesterday, and that took precedence. And as is appropriate for these two franchises right now.
So you see what she said, and you heard the rest of the guys on the panels laughing. They said, wow, they actually moved the basketball game back for boxing. So that's how the sport of boxing is looked at over in the States, right? So when people use that argument that Anthony Joshua does 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 people in Wembley Stadium, this gives you a barometer. This is let you know how the sport of boxing is looked at, how it's frowned upon in the U.S. It's not a mega sport. Yes, it's a mega sport in other countries, but not here in the U.S. In the U.S., it's not looked at in the same light, right? We have the NBA, which is the National Basketball Association. That's basketball, right? Then we have the NFL, National Football League, right? Then we have the NHL, National Hockey League. Then we have the MLB, Major League Baseball. And then we have NCAA, college football and college basketball. Not to mention we have MMA to compete with. Not to mention we also have tennis and golf, which is big over here in the States as well. So when you look at the sport of boxing and you wonder why guys like Deontay Wilder are not super mega stars here in the U.S. When you look at boxing and you look at why Errol Spence is not a super mega star here in the U.S. When you look at boxing and you look at guys like Terrence Bud Crawford, who's not a super mega star here in the U.S. When you look at boxing over here and you wonder why Jarrell Big Baby Miller is not a mega sellout star. When you look at boxing over here in the U.S. and you look at why Danny Jacobs is not a big selling point in his own hometown. When you look at the sport of boxing overall in the U.S., it's not looked at, it's not lifted as it is in the UK or in other countries. Boxing in the UK falls in somewhere between second and third over there when you're dealing with soccer, which is football. Football to you guys in the UK is football, over here it's soccer, right? So when you look at and you try to compare the two sports, it's two different worlds. You understand? So this is how it's frowned upon on our sports major networks they frown at the sport of boxing. They actually laugh at the sport of boxing. They actually make a mockery of the sport of boxing. So when you wonder why you have guys such as Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, and other fighters that are not super mega stars, when you look at and you're trying to compare Anthony Joshua and other fighters over in the UK to the fighters over here, you're comparing apples to oranges. It's two different worlds. Is looked at two different ways. You know, it's just not the same, point blank and period. So this is the reason why you don't have these fighters walking around as super megastars. When you ask the question, why isn't Deontay Wilder megastar over there? He's not known. Yeah, because there's two different worlds. You're dealing with Anthony Joshua, who's a big fish in a small pond, and you're dealing with Deontay Wilder, who's a big fish in a extra large pond. And his sport, unfortunately, is not looked at in the same light in his country as it is over in the UK. So this just gives you a barometer. This is the ESPN. This is the biggest network, sport network in the country, right? And it's frowned upon. They're laughing. Okay, ESPN, it stands for a worldwide leader in sports. Sports, not just one particular sports, but sports in general. And they laugh at the sport of boxing. It's laughed at. So when you wonder why these fighters are not megastars, this is the reason why. And Tyson Fury and Terrence Bud Crawford, whom signed to ESPN, right? And you wonder why we say, ESPN has the biggest platform, but they have to do a lot better when it comes to the sport of boxing. This is why. Errol Spence faced Mikey Garcia. It sold out 47,000 people in the arena. They expect the numbers to be over 50,000 when it's all said and done. The pay-per-view numbers haven't come out, but that was a mega fight in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Mega fight, sold out, did huge numbers, and guess what? When the fight was all said and done, ESPN had a little alert going across the bottom of the screen to alert the winner of the fight, and that was it. That was it, right? They had a small segment this morning on ESPN's on Fox Sports, with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. A small segment. But it's not a big segment. The rest of the segments are LeBron James. The rest of the segments are the NFL, college football, college basketball, Zion Williams. Zion Williams is a bigger star. He's a college basketball player. Okay, just to give you guys an insight. He has just came out of high school. You understand? He's not even a professional. He's a college basketball player. He's 19 years old. He is a bigger star than any. So, when you look at fighters like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Deontay Wilder, you wonder why? We have an 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids who don't even make money, who are not professionals in the professional ranking, that are far more popular in their sports than boxers are in their sports. We have Zion Williams, who has, I believe, 4 million Instagram followers or something like that. You understand? So this is the reason why it's very hard for boxers to become superstars over here. Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez is a big star, but Canelo Alvarez is not the star Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya was. So you get a chosen few, a handful. You get Muhammad Ali, but it's not too many you get. But that's all I got for y'all. That's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media World. Make sure you like and share this video.
Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the Empress. Much love.